everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my channel. So as this summer is kind of finally drawing to a close, I thought that it would be kind of fun to do sort of like a summer haul. I haven't done a haul video in a little while. I think it was like the very beginning of the summer or the end of spring that I last did one, and I have purchased some items, I've been sent some items, and I wanted to share all of those with you. And then one of those items that I purchased wasn't quite what I wanted it to be, so we are also going to upcycle, or at least fix and make more flattering, that one item. So some of these items were sent to me by you guys, which is so awesome and just like absolutely makes my day. I cannot tell you, when I get that notification that something has been delivered to my PO box, I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is it? What's in my PO box? That's so cool. So yes, I do have a PO box. It is listed down below in the description if you ever want to send me anything, whether that is like a physical thing or just a beautiful note or a card or something maybe that you saw that you thought of me. Like, that is crazy that that happens, and I am just flabbergasted. But you know, if you ever want to do that, yes, my PO box is down in the description here, and a couple of you have sent me things this summer, so I don't get stuff often from there, but I really, because it is so rare, I wanted to share what I received from you guys that was just absolutely so thoughtful. So we're going to start there, and the first is honestly just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful note that Lisa sent me. Lisa, thank you so much. I mean, it almost felt Regency style where you're writing on all sides, and you know, in the Regency, then they would cross it over, and that's too hard. Don't send me Regency. I don't know how to read that. But a beautiful note, and she also sent me a gift card to Joann's. It was so thoughtful, and just thank you so much, Lisa. And Philip, who I speak to pretty frequently over on Instagram in my DMs, asked me if I would like some jewelry that actually belonged to his grandmother. So it's all like costume style jewelry, but there are some like lovely brooches. That was one of my favorites. And oh, I loved this one. I might even put this one on right now. And there were a few necklaces too. This one I think I'm actually going to use as room decor because it was just so fun and so large. And so thank you so much, Philip, for thinking of me. That was just really, really sweet of you. Editing Rebecca here, jumping in to say that I nearly left one of you out that sent me something wonderful to my PO box, and that is Red from the channel Eagle and Rue. Red and I have been friends online now for a couple years, kind of since I started my channel, and she was so thoughtful as to send me this pack of McCall's doll patterns, which is very exciting. There's a couple in here with like the puffed sleeves that I think I could even squidge into like some maybe like 1890s or something like that. So that is cool if I decide to do some doll patterns. So I'm sorry, Red, for nearly leaving you out of this portion, but again, thank you so much. Now back to the current time, Rebecca. Several of you also were just absolutely so kind and so helpful, like here in the super thanks here on YouTube or over on Ko-fi. And of course, I love my patrons always, but some of you were just so helpful when I announced the fact that I was losing my job, which just ended this week. And I unfortunately not found any replacements yet, but some of you were really, really helpful with financial donations. So I appreciate that so much. It is helping to keep me going in this interim of not having a day job. And hopefully I will find one really soon. So keep your fingers crossed for me, knock on wood, all of that. And hopefully I will have another day job to replace my old one very, very soon. Another sort of thank you that I actually received, which was just so delightful and beautiful, was I had mentioned on here, I think it was in one of my Kirsten videos, I showed you guys those amazing gloves and stockings that I got from Regency Marketplace. And I guess one of you mentioned that you had heard about the gloves from my video. So Christina found my video. She's the owner of Regency Marketplace. She found my video and she sent me a wonderful thank you because apparently I actually caused those gloves to sell out. They are back in stock now, but she sent me a thank you just out of the kindness of her own heart for mentioning them at all on this channel, which I mean, obviously I mentioned them just because I was so absolutely thrilled to find them. So she sent me another pair of gloves, which is brilliant because if you saw that other video, you know that I talked about the fact that I wanted a spare pair just in case I were ever to lose or tear or whatever one of the first ones, because you just can't find gloves for plus size arms, not like opera length. And okay, just in case you didn't see the other video, let me just show you these gloves. Oh my God, look how tall this glove is. Look at this. Ah! Yeah. So if you have not already gotten yourself some gloves, do highly, highly recommend that. I will put the link to their store down below. But on top of the gloves, she actually sent me a few other things as well, which was absolutely so sweet. So Regency Marketplace also does tea. They do a lot of stuff, honestly. They've got like costume accessories, they've got kind of home goods, etc. But they also have a lot of tea. And so she sent me 3 different flavors of tea. This is the Viscountess Vanilla Rose. Oh, that's going to be really glary. Okay, well, maybe I can't show you the labels, but there you go. Viscountess Vanilla Rose. They're in these beautiful canisters. And this one is oolong tea with rose and vanilla. It was very delicious. And then this one is the Orangery Marzipan tea, which is black tea with orange, almonds, cinnamon, and rose petals. When I tell you, like, this just, it smelled so good, it tasted so good, I love it. And then, oh, speaking of smell, I wish I could use this one as perfume, honestly, because it was just like, I kept, after I finished the tea and I just let the tea bag sit for a while, I just kept smelling the tea bag because it smells, oh my God, it smells so good. It is Pemberley Peach. It's green tea with peach and apricot. Seriously, this should be like a room diffuser. It is, I love peach, and this is just like, oh, so good. So she sent me those, and then she also surprised me even further by sending me this super cute I'd rather be at Pemberley tea towel. So I loved that. I thought that was adorable, and it's hanging in my kitchen now. And yeah, I was just so thrilled that she sent all of these just completely out of the kindness of her heart. I mean, amazing. I will definitely be purchasing more teas and stuff from her in the future. And again, those gloves, like, seriously, if you have plus size arms like I do, or if you have long arms like I do, or if you have both plus size and long arms like I do yourself a favor and go get those gloves. I know they're $30, which seems like a little bit on the pricey side for gloves, but you will seriously thank me because I don't know anyone else who has gloves that fit long plus size arms like that. Opera length gloves, you need those gloves. So the other company that sent me a gift is totally like outside of sewing and stuff, totally unrelated, but if you know me, you know that I am busy a lot. Like, I mean, I do all of this, like the 2 videos a week, obviously the sewing to create the 2 videos a week. Generally, I also work full time, and I also do theater. Like right now I'm rehearsing for Singing in the Rain. So in fact, if any of you are in the Puget Sound area and you want to come see Singing in the Rain, I will be dancing in the ensemble, tapping my heart out. And that is at Tacoma Musical Playhouse. I'll link the tickets down below, but it is, I think, September 16th through October 9th. So I want to say that's 4 weekends. Nice long time to come see that show if you're in the area, and do please let me know if you are planning to come, because then I can meet you afterwards. But to keep up with this very, very busy lifestyle, one tends to need caffeinated beverages. So I was very excited when the company Liquid IV reached out to me just to have me like try their products, and then if I liked them, to share them with you all. So I have to admit there were a couple of ones that I didn't like as much, so I won't be sharing them here. But there were 2 that I really did like and I have been using quite a lot. So this is one of them. This is the Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier in I can never pronounce this word, acai berry, whatever that word is, like that down there, that flavor. So the way that I can tell is that this one works a lot like sort of a Gatorade type thing, where it's giving you a lot of those electrolytes you need. It has like a lot of vitamins in it, and you get a lot more hydration than just from drinking water by itself. But the one that I really, really have been relying on is the Energy Multiplier. So this is a green tea based like matcha, and it also has like ginger, that's lemon ginger flavor. And honestly, it looks like swamp water. Like, it looks so gross because of the matcha, but it tastes so good, and it absolutely works for energy. It is just as energizing as coffee and probably a lot better for me. And so yeah, I really liked this. So they did actually provide me with a discount code for you guys if you're interested. The code is Lady Rebecca, and I will put all of that information and the link to them down in the description as well, so that you have that for later. But yeah, this one in particular, as long as you don't get thrown off by the look of it, because it's not pretty, but it tastes delicious and it absolutely does work. So, okay, so that is it with the gifted items. But I also wanted to share with you the main thing that I know that you guys like on this channel, which is an Eshakti haul. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Eshakti, I can't remember if I've talked about them recently. It may have been several months since I've talked about them, but if you're unfamiliar with Eshakti, they are a clothing company where you basically get to customize both the fit and the style of your clothing. So for example, this dress that I'm wearing right now, which I will show you in full length in a minute, this is an Eshakti dress, and basically any clothing that you see me wearing on this channel that is not something I made and not something I thrifted, and the exception of the occasional Target blouse, everything else is from Eshakti. So I have a lot of their dresses. I've got some of their skirts. I think I've even got like a blouse. Yeah, I have a lot of Eshakti clothing. And what I really, really like about Eshakti, first off, so size inclusive. Like, the most size inclusive company that I can think of. Honestly, I don't even know what the maximum size is or if there is one, because the thing with Eshakti is that yes, you can order based on these are the sizes listed, I'm going to order this size, but you can also go in and measure yourself, put all your measurements into their little like profile form, like it'll save them for later, and then they will make the garments that you order to those measurements. And even more so, they'll make them like to your specifications. So you can choose, you know, do I want a square neckline? Do I want a shorter curved neckline? Do I want like a deep V neckline? Do I want a short sleeve? Do I want a long sleeve? Do I want sleeveless? 3/4 sleeve? Do I want like ankle length or floor length or knee length or thigh length? You can choose the length of all of, you know, those various items. I just absolutely love it. And I actually went one step further with this order because I always do a request for what my skirt length is because I like a 31-inch skirt. I don't know why, that's just kind of what I've glammed onto, and I like a 31-inch skirt, so I always send in that special request. But I sent in an additional special request for this dress. This was supposed to have just a regular like fitted sleeve, short sleeve. Actually, it might have even originally been sleeveless. I don't remember. But I wanted the short sleeve, but there was no option for a short puffed sleeve. And you know me, I'm a girl who likes a puffed sleeve. So I asked them, can I get a puffed sleeve? And they said, sure, and sent me a puffed sleeve. So I love it. Like your first 3 customizations, I think, if you've never ordered from them before, they're free. They also will like, you can send it back and forth if the fit isn't right. And then obviously they'll put that correct fit in your profile. And so it's just super, super helpful. I do have a referral link that I always have down in my descriptions. And I know a lot of you have used them in the past, but that gives you, depending on their promotion, it gives you either $25 off your first order, or sometimes it actually gives you $50 off your first order. I can't remember exactly what they're doing right now, whether it's 25 or 50. I think it's 25. But I highly recommend it. And I definitely appreciate it if you use that link because I do get a little credit back myself. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what these dresses look in the full length. And I will also show you the one dress that I got from them that I wasn't entirely thrilled with. Now, for me, when I buy things with the credits that I earn with those affiliate links, I am not able to like return those and get those credits back. Those credits would go away. So for me, if something just isn't as flattering as I had hoped it would be, then it's kind of up to me to make it flattering or lose that credit. So that's what we're going to do in the rest of this video. But first, let me go show you what it is that I purchased. So this is the first dress right here. I just absolutely love this dress. As you can see from right here, it is very, very different than what it started out with. Now, this original dress is unfortunately now out of stock, but it's possible that they will have maybe other similar fabrics or they probably have others of the same style still in stock. And because you can customize everything, I mean, you can see I added the sleeves, I made mine much longer. I think I left the neckline alone, so I think that's the same. But yeah, I just love how this turned out. It did also come with this really thin belt, but frankly, I don't think it needs a belt at all. I don't like thin belts. I find them unflattering, and I like this waistband actually a lot more. So although my mom hates this dress, she hates the orange, and I think the orange and blue together, I absolutely love it. I think it is so cute. It's also like a lightweight cotton voile, so it has been great to wear this summer, which is why you have seen at least the top part of this in other videos. But yeah, I just absolutely love this dress. It is so comfy. And of course, everything that Eshakti makes has pockets. So this is dress number 2, the top part. I'll show you the rest in just a moment. And this you have also seen me wearing in a bunch of other videos. Unfortunately, this one is also sold out, or at least the dress style is sold out, because I utilized one of Eshakti's pretty new features, customization features, with this dress. And that is that you can now actually choose what dress style you want and what fabric you want and combine them together. So I wasn't sure, I didn't go dig through to see if this fabric was still available, but it was the fabric that I fell in love with. And then this dress style is one that I've actually used before. I have a blue and white dress that I got last summer that is this exact style, like same pockets and all. I'll show you the pockets in just a sec. But yeah, I love this sort of like shawl collar with the fold up on the sleeve, just like short sleeve shirtwaist dress, which is what this is. And I saw that shape dress in a fabric that I really didn't like, and then I saw this fabric in a dress that I really didn't like, but because of the fabric customization feature, I was able to combine it all together. So I don't think I actually changed anything about the original shape of the dress, except possibly the hem length, but everything else was the same, with my own measurements, of course. And then I used the fabric customization to get this adorable, like summer stripey, this just reminds me of something you'd wear to like a boardwalk amusement park. So yeah, I really, really like that. So let me show you the full length. So here is the full length. Again, it's the same length as all of my other dresses. This one is a 31-inch length from waist to hem. The one thing that I don't like as much about this style, which I noticed on last year's dress as well, is that the buttons only go down so far, and then it actually opens like a little slit in the bottom. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do wear petticoats with all my dresses. So, I mean, my petticoat shows. I could also close it up, like I could literally sew that up and, you know, no one would even know, because when do you ever button down the entirety of a dress, right? But I also really love the pockets on this dress. So again, these are just like the pockets on my dress that I got last year, but they're just like patch pockets, but they have this gusset in them. So although they are sort of flat patch pockets, they're actually humongous. And then they've got these cute little flaps on the top too. And I just think it is such a darling style, like so retro 50s, and I just love it. And this fabric, I mean, I just fell in love with this fabric, absolutely. This one also came with this belt, which in this case, I do really like this belt. It's a lot wider than the other belt. I think it's at least twice as wide. And it also helps to break up that vertical line just to have that one horizontal line at the waist. I also appreciate that even with the belts, they give you a really big variety of holes on the belt. So I've got this in the second loosest hole, I think, and they're like metal grommet type holes. And then there's lots of room here. You can wrap the belt as far as you want, because there's actually 2 of the little loops that hold the belt in place. So you can really position those wherever. So that was very thoughtful of them with that belt. So now let me show you the third item that I got, which is a skirt. And it's pretty basic, but it's good to know that you can really get your basics from Eshakti as well. So this skirt actually is still available on the website, so I will link directly to this skirt below too if you're interested. But I needed just a basic black skirt with pockets, of course, because my old Eshakti skirt that is black, I think is from like 2013 or something like that, and it is finally just too faded. It's also a lot shorter than I like my skirts nowadays, and it also doesn't have pockets, because that must have been from before they put pockets in everything. And the only other black skirt that I have is the velvet one that I upcycled in my history bounding video from like a year or 2 ago. I'll link that video down below so that you can see which one I'm talking about, but again, it doesn't have pockets. I do a lot of theater ushering, so there's a lot of times that I need to dress up exactly like this, white top, black bottoms, and do theater ushering. And if you've ever done theater ushering, you'll know that it is very, very helpful to have pockets when you usher for theater, so that you can put everything you need, cell phone, whatever, in there and don't have to worry about carrying a purse. So this is the blouse that I actually just fixed in my alterations video a few weeks ago, so I'll link that video down below as well. I'm so glad to finally be wearing this, considering I bought it like a decade or more ago, and and it goes perfectly with this new black skirt from Eshakti for my ushering. So this is kind of now my ushering uniform. So now let me show you the last item that I bought from Eshakti, which is the one thing that I am not happy with, and then we are going to fix it and make me happy. So this is the one thing that I'm not particularly happy with, and the reason for that is because one of my qualms with Eshakti is that even though I've pestered them a lot about it, and I'm sure other people have too, all of the models on their website are super tiny. They do not have plus size models on their website, which is like baffling to me, completely baffling to me, because I have a feeling that the majority of people who purchase clothing from their website are plus size because they are so size inclusive in their offering, and yet all of their models are stick thin. So you can't really tell what the dresses actually look like until you get them home. And so for people who use referral credits that can't be refunded, it kind of sucks, because this would look fantastic on someone with a very slim body shape, but on me it does not look good. And that is because I did not know when I purchased it that this section right here would be elasticized. And so as you can see, what is happening on me is that I actually dip in quite a bit right where like the bottom of my bra is, right here under the bust, and then I go out and then I get in back again to the waist. So this is my natural waist, and then again it dips in here, but it goes out here. And so by having a line here and a line here, it's actually accentuating that this is larger. So like this line, this one's great. This one sucks. And then it is amplified, of course, by the fact that this is a dolman sleeve, which I knew was a risk when I ordered it. I knew it had a dolman sleeve, and I knew I do not usually like a dolman sleeve, but the model looked really cute in it. So by having the dolman sleeve here, it's all of a sudden like, oh, this is really large right here, and then it goes really small, and then large, and then small again. So yeah, that is the problem with this dress, the thing that's really irritating me about it. Honestly, otherwise, like, I love this fabric. Can you see this? It's a Swiss dot fabric. I absolutely love it. It is such a lightweight cotton, like maybe a voile, somewhere around there, a lawn, one of those really lightweight cottons, perfect for summer. And honestly, I like the ruching on the sleeve. I think that that's very, very cute. And the skirt is adorable. I don't know how much of this I can get in the frame here, but as you can see, it is basically gathered waist here because of the elastic, and then it goes to another tier right here, and this tier actually has like, I guess this is an insertion, kind of like a beading lace. It looks like this up close. Hopefully you can see that. And then it has another tier down at the bottom and a tiny little ruffle down at the very bottom of the skirt here. And I just think it's darling. It's, again, like perfect for summer. I actually got this one in a little bit longer of a length because it felt like one of those kind of almost caftan inspired. But of course it doesn't look it because of this section right here. So let's talk about my plan to fix this dress. I'm hoping that my plan A will work. My plan A is very, very simple. It is basically, because all of these little lines are actually like elastic threads, and that is what is pulling in this ruched section right here. Every single one is an elastic thread. So my thought is, well, if I kind of pre-stretch out the top few tiers of elastic, like anything probably to about here, if I pre-stretch those out and then sew them with like a triple stitch thread, one that won't pop if it's pulled a little bit, because obviously it will want to kind of pull if the others are elastic. But if I sew them with a triple stitch thread and then take the elastic out of those top tiers, just like so, you know, almost exactly right in the place, maybe like right alongside the elastic threads, then hopefully this part right here won't pull in. And if it doesn't pull in, then it should just like float above the body right here, because I would rather that this line right here looks, you know, the same size as here, because then it won't amplify this right here. And again, I like that it pulls in right here. So the lower part of the elastic, dandy. Anything below where this largest part is, that's just great. So I'm hoping that that is the answer, because the other answer would be to literally undo this entire section, like to remove where it attaches to the top section and here, because it is, I believe, a fully different section, like it's cut separately. And if I remove that and then just take, you know, like a flat portion of this and make it a flat waistband, that could work too. It would just have to be large enough that I can pull it over my head, because there is no zipper closure or anything in this dress. So let's go see if option 1 will actually work. So the first step to this is that I have to take a measurement of this largest part right here. It's not one of those measurements that I know off the top of my head, you know, like bust, waist, etc. But in this case, that is what we want to stretch out these top several gathering stitches to. So that is going to be a 40, I mean, let's make it a little loose actually. It's 44 if it's tight. Why don't we do, oh, that might be too loose, because I need to get this on over my boobs. My boobs are like a 48.5. Let's do a 45.25, I think will be a good way to put this. We can always make it a little tighter, but I think 45.25 will be the measurement to stretch out everything from here up. I have to figure out how to, you know, hold it so that I know I'm stretching it out to that as I run it through the machine. But basically that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stretch it out to where it needs to be and attempt to run it through the machine first with just a regular straight stitch, because that can be removed easily. A triple straight stitch cannot be removed easily. So we'll do that as like the last step if this all works. So just for comparison's sake, because I was curious, I decided to go ahead and measure this unstretched, and look at that, it's only 36 inches at the top unstretched. So we actually needed to go up almost another 10 inches, which is why it is hugging in so tightly at that point. So yeah, I'll have to figure out how to hold this and maneuver this through the sewing machine. I don't know if I'll be able to film this at the same time. I promise I will try, but I just, you know, I can't promise I will actually be successful at showing that. So we are going to stretch this top part out and replace it with a regular non-elastic thread. So I went to go access this top row of stitching here, and this seam allowance is sewn down onto the top row of stitching. So I started to unpick it, and it turns out there's actually narrow elastic inside sewn into the seam allowance. So I wonder if that is even exacerbating the problem, because that seems like a lot stronger elastic than just like the thread. I'm guessing this is like woolly nylon type thread or something, and that was used in the bobbin here. So I am really wondering if how much of the problem will be alleviated once I just seriously take this elastic out. So let's go ahead and do that and see what the result is. So as you can see, taking out that elastic helped a lot. Like, it is not nearly as tight right here as it was before. That said, it is still dipping in just a little bit. So I think I am still going to attempt what my original plan was and try to make the top few of these not actually elasticated. But yeah, it's so much better. I mean, like, you can see kind of, this is like I'm barely touching this and it is coming away from my body. So I'm almost tempted to leave it as it is, because I don't know if the straight stitches will actually work like I kind of planned them or not. But yeah, this is definitely, I mean, this is worlds better than it was before. I'm almost tempted to like see if fixing the dolman sleeve would kind of make this not look like it was going in at all, because I think that the fact that it is then going so out right here is really making it worse. And so if I want to get rid of any of this wing, I could try to curve this seam up and then out. So that was one of the other things that I was kind of originally thinking of doing, is just taking this seam in and then bringing it back out. So maybe I'll do that first and then see about the elastic. So I haven't done the elastic yet, but I have done one of the dolman sleeves, like taking it in a little bit more, not even clipping the edge or serging the excess off or anything, but I wanted to show you the difference between this, which is what it was before, And this now, do you see that? It's like tucked in, and that's just from taking that seam in just a little bit. I feel like it looks so much better. I do think that this is still curving in a lot, especially kind of in the back. So I think I am still gonna go ahead and attempt the like stitching the elastic out in here. My mom suggested, now my mom is not a sewer, but my mom suggested, what if you just cut the threads that are elastic? And part of me is like, oh, that sounds nice and easy. And the other part of me is like, then the entire thing's gonna unravel. So I know to be sensible, that is not what I should do, but it is tempting just to see if maybe even if I take one row of thread out, what that would do. It's a little tempting. So I'm not sure how well this will work, but I want to attempt to show you what I'm doing here. So basically I realized I can't stretch it out too far because this is flat, but because of the elastic, it is gathered. So I can pull it out to where this is now totally flat and you don't see any of that gathering coming in. And then I can use that kind of as my gauge as to where the elastic can be pulled out to. I'm working in the back right now, which seems to be the worst offender. I may not even have to do this to the front because it's looking pretty okay now that that big elastic is out. So let's go ahead and give this a go. I'm making sure as I do this that the seam allowance is flipped upwards, by the way. And there is also a line of stitching that is right here at the seam. That line of stitching, I am going to kind of follow my mom's advice, and I'm just going to take that out because the stitches in the seam will hold that area in place. That's the back finished, so let's see what that does. So I wound up doing the like regular thread as opposed to elastic thread replacement for the top 4 rows of stitching just in the back. I feel like the front is actually doing okay now. I mean, really, like this part of the front was always doing okay. It was just here where it was really obvious that it goes in up here that it looked weird. But now that I've loosened the back elastic in the upper part, I feel like the side is also not pulling in from the front, and then also having taken in both sides now of the dolman sleeve, I almost feel like I could maybe take it in more, to be honest, but I think it's just so much better both here and then especially here. It could probably go even a little bit farther down, like do 1 or 2 rows even lower, but I think I'm pretty comfortable with where it is now. I don't feel like it looks so obvious, like here's the back roll, you know, in the back like it was before, and the side it's not pulling in like that either. So yeah, I think that that is a success on this dress. I'm happy now. I'm actually gonna wear it, and yeah, I think this will just be a really comfy one. And again, I love the color, love the fabric, so I'm so glad that I was able to upcycle it in this way. So thank you very much for joining me today for this haul slash upcycle alterations video. I know it was kind of a weird combo here, but I really enjoyed sharing all of this with you. And also thank you again for those of you who have sent me stuff, whether that's to my P.O. box or whether you are my Patreon supporters. Thank you so, so much. You guys are just like the most important people to me, seriously, you're wonderful. And also thank you to those of you who have helped out on Ko-fi or on Super Thanks here on YouTube. So if you liked this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube twice a week, with my sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays and other random sewing and costuming content like this out on Saturdays. But I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to that Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below. Or again, you can send me a super thanks right here on YouTube, just right below the video. I'd also like to give a special shout out in particular to my Edwardian level patrons, Sharon and Mirage. Thank you all so, so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!